Welcome to Young and Finch, the podcast created by Korean millennials. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Young and Finch. My name is Brian.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Josh.
What's up, boys? And today we're going to be talking about something that could be a little bit sentimental. We're going to be talking about our family, and I think a lot of our listeners can relate to this. We're going to be talking about family values, how it felt to be raised as an immigrant in Canada in a Korean family household, and things like that. So, with that being said, what's good, boys?
What's good?
Not much. Andrew, sorry. I think this topic is somewhat sentimental, like Brian said.
Yeah.
But
Someone might shed a tear, sorry.
yeah, I'll try not to, sorry. Yeah, I mean, let's just, I guess, start with a question,
Yeah.
How are your relationships different now as opposed to your early 20s with your parents? And how do you view that relationship?
That's a big question.
Yeah, I mean, you could generalize it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, it's like, I think it happens to, I think all of us. Like when you're young, and when you're maybe in your late 10s or early 20s, you think like you're the shit, Like it's like, oh, I don't need my parents. Like I'm all grown up.
Yeah.
And you kind of have them on the back burner. And then as you grow up, and then as you start, going to work and, living the cliche like society, like going to jobs and interacting with other people and things like that. Like you see a lot of shit. And you kind of realize that like family, like the world doesn't offer what your family offers you. And what I mean by that is like, I guess in terms of like unconditional love and trust and just like not having any doubts whether or not this person, has good intentions for me and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm so blessed that I could say that because I know not a lot of people have that, and there's a lot of, troubles happening at home with their family and things like that. But luckily, I'm fortunate enough to not be in that position.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I think as you get older, you kind of appreciate the fact that you have someone that you can trust. You have someone that you can rely on 100%. And I think because you have that, it's a lot easier for you to just kind of, retreat back to your family and, just talk about whatever's on your mind without having to worry about whether this person has good intentions for me or not. So
yeah,
I think that's what my family does for me right now in this current like moment, like in the modern day. And I think that's what I think.
Do you have a different view of them in your early 20s as opposed to now? Like, so I guess if I could kind of share a little bit before you answer.
Yeah.
Like back in my 20s, early 20s, sorry, I didn't really think much about my parents in general. Because I was more focused about, like you said, myself, like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But now, as I'm transitioning to my late 20s, I realize, first of all, my parents are getting older, right?
Yeah.
And second of all, I realized that they enjoy spending time with their family because as you grow up, you have less of that, right?
Yeah.
So when they said that they enjoy spending time with us and they express it, I guess I feel that more so now than before. And I try to take some of my time now out of my life to spend time with them, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I guess, now I guess you could say I've matured a little bit, but
Cheese.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think all of us can agree to
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, any changes for you guys?
Yeah, like speaking of what you said, it's like just last week or even this week, like I went to my sister's condo, like finally got built and she moved in and everything. So it
Yeah.
was like me, my sister, and my mom, and we went to go like see the condo. And my mom was just like we were walking around that neighborhood, like going to like shops, buying like bakeries and shit like that, just like those little trivial things.
Yeah.
But my mom was just like, like I'm so happy, like I'm so happy that we can do this with the family, and like it's just it's just like things like that. It's just it's so small, and sometimes like for us we might just kind of like brush it off, but I'm sure for them it's like seeing us like grow up and become adults and things like that. It's like a process, and I'm sure they like really love seeing that growth in all of us.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you, Josh?
Yeah. I think I think it's all similar vibrations. Like I think the biggest thing for me was just priority. Like when I was in my young 20s, going to university and things like that, my parents and like my family wasn't priority because it's like for me mentally they're always gonna be there, right? Or if that was like my thought process, like no matter what, I can always go home and I can always go see my brother or my parents or whatever. Like they'll always be there.
Yeah.
And then I think what happened recently, like with like graduating, like recently within like the past 5 years, graduating, starting work and things like that, and then also just kind of hearing other people's life experiences, you like I realized, it's like what Andrew said, it's like it's about spending like that time you spent with your family and things like that, like that is what's really going to remain once they get older and you get older, and eventually when if it's a circle of life, when your parents pass and stuff like that, all you really have left of them are your memories and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it sounds kind of dark, but it's like a kind of rude awakening where now I'm like, yeah, like the time I have left with my family is actually not that much.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this somewhere that like if you see your parents maybe once or twice a year, let's say twice a year on average, right?
Yeah.
And you live to be on your 20 and you're 30 right now hypothetically, and you live to be 100, that means or like your parents are 50 or whatever and they live to be 100, that means theoretically you only have 100 times left of seeing them on average, right? And
Mm-hmm.
obviously that's kind of like it's a huge assumption and a huge whatever, but like if you even that ballpark number itself is like it's so little, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like that, it's like we really don't have that much time left, and that's kind of where I've gotten now. It's like not that I want to spend time with them because I'm worried about like I don't have that much time to get to know them as people. I think I talked about this before too, but
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a transition between seeing your parents as parents and then seeing them as people, right? And once you see them as people, you realize you just don't really know that much about them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm at right now. Just trying to focus time and energy and having them as a priority in my life.
Yeah, it's circle of life is the tough pill to swallow, but it is what it is, kind of thing.
It's
Yeah.
kind
And
of
I guess, yeah, sorry. I guess we have to just do what we're dealt with. I guess. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's kind of interesting to see like when you guys are talking about circle of life, like it is like the full circle. It's like I kind of feel like as we're getting older, like we're taking care of our parents, and they're kind of like becoming the little baby again.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like not like physically, but mentally, they're a lot a lot slower. They're a lot more simple, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
like they get hurt, like offended easily, like if you're not careful about what you say.
No, it's true.
And just like things like that.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure they were like us when they were in their 20s. They were like super bright, super quick, and
Yeah.
things like that. But now I look at my parents and they're just like it's like a lot more like slower.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what I thought about circle of Sorry.
So I guess the thought difference between your early 20s and your late 20s, I guess now,
Mhm.
earlier I guess we could say that we all kind of focused on ourselves more,
Mm-hmm.
but now, so we're kind of like making a priority shift.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Conversely, like, what are some thoughts that you always had about your parents, like, that never, not the cliche ones, like unconditional love, like I know they love me or whatever, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So something like a mindset about your parents that you always had. So like for me, I always had, like, I always liked making my parents like proud kind of thing, and I took
Mm-hmm.
that as
Yeah.
motivation to do well in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I always took that as a base. So like if I have something to, I guess, show off about, I will work towards that and kind of show, like, proudly show off to my parents, because
Yeah.
I know they're like you said, Brian, earlier, where they're the ones that never judge
Yeah.
and give you unconditional love.
Yeah.
To see them express excitement over my growth,
Mm-hmm.
I see that, and I, take motivation in that, and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
try, kind of like a circle of experience, if you will. Sorry, not circle of life. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, something like that. If you guys have any.
Yeah. Like I think for me, the thing that my parents always pushed for me was never like, I think typically with Korean as well as, just Asian parents in general, it's always like, get a good job, you gotta be successful in life. And, there's like these kind of achievement levels that they talk about when you're younger. And that kind of sets the expectation for what kind of person you want to be or you should be, kind of thing, right? I think that's common with a lot of parents. But for my parents, they were a little bit different in that they really didn't care about stuff like that. Like they wanted me to obviously be happy and to be a successful in my own right, but it was never about like the type of job or anything like that. But the thing that they always instilled in me is like, what kind of person do you want to be? Like what kind of character do you want to like have, like traits, like how do you want to treat people, how do you want people to see you? And like that's what they really pushed
Mhm.
for me growing up. And it was always like, instead of lecturing me about studying more for so that I can become successful, it's like study more so that that builds your character, and this
Mhm.
drives the direction of like what kind of person you will become. So similar to you, it's like I think for me, like now I when I talk to my parents and when I interact with them, like I'm kind of proud to show that like the person I've become now is like a product of their molding
Mhm.
and their nurturing and stuff like that. And so similar to you, I'll come home and then, I'll talk about these things that are happening and different decisions I made and what's going on in my life and stuff like that. And then I could see them be proud of, of me because of the type of person I am and the values that I have and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I think that's something that I've always attributed with my parents.
Mhm.
What about you, Brian?
Like my mom and my dad are very um similar but different in a way,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like my dad is probably is the most like hardworking person I know, like in terms of like going out to jobs and just like being responsible and providing for the family.
Yeah.
And like my dad works at the postal office, so it's like it could be like physically intensive work kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for him to just show up every day, like no complaining, and like I'm sure he doesn't want to do it, but like he kind of has to,
Mm-hmm.
just so that he could provide for us. So like I think even for a long time, like I had nothing but like respect for my father for being able to do that.
Yeah.
And for my mom, she was, my mom's like a house mom, and I think a lot of like Korean moms like around that generation becomes like a house mom where like the dad
Yeah.
goes out to work and things like that. So my mom was home a
Yeah.
lot, but like she taught me like lessons about kind of what Josh said in terms of like how you treat other people, like how considerate you are about other people's feelings, and just like I guess about love and unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter like what they do, like no matter how much like I stress them out or piss them off, like my mom will always be like the one to first just kind of reach out and just kind of bring me back in. So I guess in conclusion, like my dad taught me like how to work hard and, you know, being responsible for your family, while my mom taught me like just all those lessons about like love and things like that, which I think are both very important to like,
for sure.
to like building your character.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's the mindset that I have of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
If that answers your question.
Yeah.
True.
True.
But we know that our relationship with our parents are not always happy-go-lucky, unconditional love, positive vibes.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, how are your parents like with regards to nurturing you and tough love and stuff like that? Like, did you guys have strict parents? Because I know a lot of, like, I've heard a lot of stories about parents who were like super strict and stuff like that, you know, like kunde appa style, you know?
Mm.
But like what was that like for you guys? And like did you guys ever like get into big arguments? Like everyone argues with their parents, but sometimes you have that one fight and you're like, you know,
Yeah.
will we be able to recover from that kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, for me, my parents were like, they were strict, they were firm, but they weren't like, you know, like a military style, like go to your bed at 9, make your bed at 7 in the morning. You know,
Yeah.
like it wasn't like very like regimented or anything like that. But
Mhm.
I would say my parents were more strict when I was little. Like when I was back in Korea, like they were very firm. Like I remember just being a little bit like nervous and scared in terms of like my academics.
Yeah.
Like I'll bring home like I remember this one time I brought home like a 90% on my test. And then I was like, "Oh, Ma, like look what I got." But then my mom was not happy because like everyone else got like 95 or 100. Yeah, so
Brian. Dirty
So,
90 boy.
yeah.
I don't think I'll be proud of my. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. But like definitely like I don't know, this could be very controversial, but I did get like hit when I was little, but not like fucking like abuse hit, just like
Yeah.
like those love. Yeah,
Tough
pachori,
love.
pachori, yeah,
Tough
tough love, you know.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
and then I'll have to like go on my knees and like hold my hands up for like 5 minutes. But then when my mom like walked away, I would like bring it down. And then when she showed back up, I would like quickly raise my hand.
Like scared.
Yeah. But like I like looking back, it was just like all out of love. And like I can't criticize my parents because like it's like if I was put into that situation right now in my 20s, like I wouldn't know what to do, you know.
Yeah.
And I would obviously want the best for my kids. But like ever since I come to Canada, immigrating here, like my parents were like pretty loose about everything. Like they let me have the freedom to do like, you know, a lot of things. Like obviously like don't do drugs and just like shit like that. But yeah, but I think one big thing that happened that kind of strained my relationship, especially with my mom, would be when I was dating like a non-Korean girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we've had a lot of arguments and fight like that, and I kind of understand where they're coming from because like it's hard for them to speak English, so it might be hard for them to like connect with my significant other and things like that. But early on, like we had a lot of conflicts about that, and like honestly, even to this day, like if I bring like a non-Korean person over, like I still have that in the back of my mind. It's like, how is my mom gonna react to this?
True.
But it's a lot better now. It's like again, like my mom didn't know a lot about what I was trying to tell her at the time. So it's a lot better now, but yeah, if there was one thing that I could remember that just kind of maybe drifted us apart a little bit, it was probably that.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of Korean baby boomers, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
are like that, right? They have that closed mindset.
Yeah.
If they could only if they could speak to someone that's Korean, they're like, oh, so open minded and like so not open
Yeah.
minded, sorry, so open and
And like
friendly.
welcoming. And,
Yeah.
But if they can't communicate, they kind of just shy away and close their doors.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I could kind of continue
Yeah.
on. Honestly, I think I have a pretty similar mindset as my parents.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything significant in terms of a fight or an event that necessarily like drifted us apart.
True.
But obviously there are cases where we had our differences.
Mm-hmm.
Some scenarios. Now that I think back, I was a brat.
Mm-hmm.
Or like for instance, when I graduated high school, I wanted to go to Korea, but obviously as a high schooler, I don't have money.
Yeah.
So I was begging my parents, "Oh, my friends are going to Korea and shit. Can I not go?" And they didn't let me because I guess, they had their reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that I look back, I'm sure like I was just being a little brat. Like maybe they didn't have the money to, send
Yeah.
me or something. I'm sure they had their reason, and I'm
Yeah.
sure they wanted to send me as well,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
right? But looking back, it's like I was just being a little brat. So
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's like very like
Yeah.
it's like insignificant in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or like another case would be when my family went to Vancouver, and you know how if you travel with someone close to you, you tend to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't like that instance with the fight with my mom. It's like it's a fight, but obviously we made up, and it wasn't
Yeah.
anything significant. But yeah,
True.
like I didn't like I would say my relationship with my parents are really good right now. It's just chill. My mom is obviously the one that expresses more, but my dad
Yeah.
shows through like services. I think we touched upon the love languages or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see that, so yeah, I would say I'm pretty chilling, I think
All vibes.
I think the most important thing is the mindset, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Brian, you said that, since you have non-Korean friends or girlfriends or whatever relationships, and you bring them to your Korean mom, it's like that mindset, right? There's a difference.
Mhm.
But for me, it's like I think I'm in line with pretty much almost everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
True.
That's me. Sorry.
I was like, like if you open up and just hang out with
Mhm.
non-Koreans for once, like there's a lot of things that I'm sure you will get
Yeah.
in return, and like
Yeah,
it'll just kind of
definitely.
open up your blinkers a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's okay. I'm okay. I am 50 years old, but you are young. You can do that. But I'm gonna just hang out with my Korean friends. I'm
It's like that. It's like that American mindset.
Yeah. So
You
I'm
know?
like,
They don't give a
I'm
shit
like,
about anything besides their own
yeah.
culture.
And that's the thing. It's like you can't change old people either. It's like,
Yeah.
who am I to tell my parents like do this, do that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Rather just change the way like you react and things like that. I think
Yeah. Exactly.
that's a lot easier.
But times are changing, so we could be the ones to change that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're the future. Sorry.
I'm down. How about you, Josh?
Yeah, I think, like there were never any, like thankfully there were never any like major conflicts and like differences of opinion. But I think coming from a second generation Korean Canadian's perspective, like I think a lot of my peers who are also second generation had a lot of like 상처, which is like scars. Yeah, like emotional scars and not trauma, but like deep-seated conflicts with their parents and having like the culture clashing. I think that second gen Koreans face is probably one of the most difficult hurdles to go through because
Yeah.
your parents coming from a first generation perspective, you know, very traditional Korean, very Korean mindset, and versus their kid who was born in Canada or America and raised with this very free, and like open minded and kind of like individualistic perspective. There's a lot of clashes and things like that. Kind of like what Brian was talking about with, you know, like your parents kind of having reservations about, you know, you meeting people who aren't Korean, just things like small things like that that like build up, and you know, like it's like you'll never understand me and shit like that. And I know so many families that are still like having conflicts because of shit that they said or shit that was happening during like middle school or stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
um I definitely know that that's very common. But yeah, for me personally, thankfully, no major things like that.
Mm-hmm.
No like long, winding arguments. Most of the times it was like if I did something stupid,
Mm-hmm.
I just got like 혼냈어, and
Mm-hmm.
then like they would just, yeah, tough love me, and
Mm-hmm.
and then we're good after. So
Yeah. I'm just gonna add this, but
yeah.
I think I like, you know how you get a lot of influence when you're growing up from your parents?
Yeah.
I guess this is a question, sorry. What are some traits that you think you got from your parents? Right? And I could start off if you guys need some time to think, but I guess for me, I think my mom is super passive aggressive and my dad is very short-tempered.
I thought you were gonna go positive traits.
Oh no, I mean positive too. Okay, I could talk about
No,
positives too.
no. Keep going.
Let's talk about
That's good.
positives too.
This is raw,
I
authentic material.
I
right
think I
here.
already talked about positive with the other one though.
Yeah, that's true. So let's talk about negative then. Let's do negative.
Yeah.
So I would say and I see that, and I see myself doing that sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like, and yeah. Do you guys have any? Sorry.
I'm kind of like that too. I kind of have like my dad's, not, I wouldn't say short temper, but like if something annoyed my dad, like he would,
Get
what's
angry.
like
Sorry.
what's okay, like
Oh, like
Ooh,
like
Like-
he
when
he'd be shook. Kind of
it's
it's
like
like
he
triggered.
like shuts down, you know, like
Oh.
he doesn't want to like talk.
tilted. He get tilted.
He gets tilted, like
Yeah.
I don't know, but I kind of have that same like vibrations too, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So it's like when it's like me and my dad, like it can get kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Because like
No, but-
my dad's very stoic, and like
Yeah.
he doesn't talk much. Like he's more of
Yeah.
like the action kind of like
Mhm.
love
True.
language kind of type,
yeah.
and like I'm kind of like that too.
Mhm.
So it's like
Yeah.
my mom went to Korea, and it was just like me and my dad. It was just like
Just quiet.
it wasn't quiet, but like I don't know. It wasn't like me and my mom's relationship. It
Yeah.
was just like
yeah.
two dudes just in a room.
Yeah.
Like we'll be like,
But
what'd you eat? Oh, rice. Oh, okay.
yeah. But I feel like a lot of Korean dads, or even just dads, are like that with their
Yeah.
sons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I relate to what you just said, 100%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. It's just the dad thing, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
How about from your mom, or do you not have any?
From my mom,
Yeah.
I guess like what I said before about just like trying to give to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty boring and cliche, but I don't think I learned anything bad from my mom. My mom is probably like the most like chill, like
Mm-hmm.
modern day like angel. Sorry.
What the? I'm down.
Like literally,
No, for
like
sure.
I can't say anything bad about my mom, man. Like honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah, I think that's
Shout
what I
out to all the moms.
Shout out to all the
Yeah.
moms, yeah.
I love you. Sorry.
Wait, speaking of family, we forgot to dive into our other family member. How is y'all's relationship with your brothers and sisters? And I guess your bro-in-law, if in some cases too, 'cause they're your
Yeah.
family too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for context, we all have siblings, and we're all actually the youngest sibling, right?
and we all
Yeah.
have bros-in-laws.
Yeah.
And we all have brother-in-laws. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
So Josh, how about you? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're talking about siblings, I'm actually very thankful when I look at my siblings because I think growing up, well, first of all, a little background. I have a brother and a sister. My brother is 2 years older than me, and my sister is 4 years older than me. So we're all kind of in the same age range. I'd say like we're like it's like 친구 나이, right? Like we're
Yeah.
friends when we're growing up, and that's kind of how it was for me. Like we were like basically friends, and when because I grew up in a small like white town, so we didn't have too many other Koreans.
Mm-hmm.
And so especially during that time, my siblings were my closest friends, like when I
Mm-hmm.
was like young. So
Mm-hmm.
with that kind of tone, we grew up, and obviously, with school and life, you fall apart and you focus on different things, and like during uni, like I kind of broke away from my family, like I said earlier, and my priority wasn't my family, it was my friends and partying and enjoying life and like
Mm-hmm.
trying to live my best life and stuff like that. And so during that time, obviously, our relationships kind of took a pause and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd say right now, for the most part, my yeah, my relationship with my siblings are good. Like we're close. Growing, like I could tell them anything. Like relationship issues,
Mm-hmm.
things that I was like doing, like during uni and stuff. Like I would tell my sister and brother, like when I was experimenting with with like different types of shit or partying too hard and stuff like that, or
Mm-hmm.
if I had too much, Tinder, whatever. Like I would talk to them about stuff like that, and so it's like a very open and
Mm-hmm.
like almost it's like a friendship.
Yeah, yeah. That's
It's like
good, man.
yeah. So I'd say I'm blessed to have a really good relationship with my siblings.
Are you guys all pretty close? We would say, like to each other.
I mean, obviously, I think when once there's like a third child, sometimes that dynamic gets a little shifted. But I think I'm like my relationship with my sister and my relationship with my brother are good, respectively. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
one, I'm not sure, like the third way, but whatever.
Yeah,
That's not
that's what I
my.
heard. I heard if there's like more than two, like
Yeah,
my mom too. My mom's a child, like children of five, and like she
yeah.
doesn't get along with I think her
Some of them,
second or
right?
third.
Yeah.
So it's like
First,
I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah.
but you guys you guys are only siblings of two. Like you guys both only have like older sisters, right? Like how? What about you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I have an older sister. Why do I sound like that? Like
Yeah, I have an older sister. No, stepbrother, what are you doing? Sorry.
Yeah, I have an older sister. She's 3 years older than me. Actually, different to what you said, Josh. Like me and my sister, I don't think we were like super close growing
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of was doing her own thing, like in high school and university. Like she had her friends, and I was just like another like 동생 living in the same house kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And same with me. I was like doing my own thing. Like it was just like we definitely like cared for each other, but it wasn't like anything intimate or
Yeah.
maybe kind of like what you had with your brother and sisters at the time.
Yeah.
But I think as we got older and as we
Mhm.
started both working and just kind of grinding against the daily shit that we have to deal with as adults, we kind of took like solace with each other. It's just
Yeah,
like
for sure.
another set of hands if you need something, like
Yeah.
like if you have career problems, like I'll ask my sister. Like if I have interview questions, then I'll ask my sister.
Yeah.
If I have questions about like anything, because like they're going through it too, so it's just like
Yeah.
another like opinion and things like that too. It's like somewhat of like a mentor to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I could say the same thing from my brother-in-law too, because like he's been very helpful to me. And yeah, I think just as we get older, I think we just naturally became more closer. And I think we all just realized that like family is literally like what I said before. It's just like it's just like a small circle that you can trust. And
Yeah.
It's like
just
your
like
base circle.
Yeah.
They could always
yeah
go back to.
yeah exactly. So
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, Brent, how's your relationship with your brother-in-law? And Andrew, you too. I'm curious to know about you, but like what's that been like?
me and brother-in-law, we're good. My brother-in-law he's a man of few words, I'd say. But he's very like dependable, Like he's just like I feel like he's just like a mountain that's just like in the back of
Yeah.
our whole family, you know? Like he doesn't move
Yeah.
much and he doesn't say much, but like
So he's a big boy.
he's like no, not like physically, but he's just like that kind of presence, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know
Um,
what you mean.
But yeah, like I said, like I look at him as like another mentor. Like, he's been through a lot of shit, I'm sure, because like he's been here in Canada alone. Like his family's back in Korea,
True.
he I'm sure had to figure things out a lot faster than me.
Yeah.
So, but no, we're good. We're chills. Like we played games together. Like we played Fortnite together. He's very big into video games, so I think we had a lot of connections and
Yeah.
like bonding moments through video games. And,
That's good.
yeah, like he's always there for me. Like if I have any questions or
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I'd say it's a pretty good relationship.
Yes. Or nice.
Yes.
I was thinking nice, but I said yeah. I was like yes.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Okay.
I was thinking nice, but I said yeah. So I was like, anyways.
What about yeah?
I was gonna say I pretty much have a similar view as Brian in terms of just the sister part and the brother-in-law part.
Yeah.
Brother. Anyways, yeah. So when I was younger, I would say I wasn't that close with my sister.
Yeah.
We had, the sibling fights, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as we grow older, right? Like Brian said, we have some similar, adult things that we can relate to, like taking care of our parents, whether it be like their birthdays or anniversaries or whatnot.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. So I won't go into those details, but I would say I'm a very competitive person. So I always not used my sister, but she was kind of there, and I kind of took, not as a competition, but someone that I could look up to in terms of beating, in terms of, if you can say.
Yeah.
So like she was super smart. She was always smarter than me. Would always get higher grades than me. So just being just me comparing myself, that kind of helped me strive to be better and make myself want to try.
It's like a healthy competition.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that I guess helped me a lot more. And now obviously, like Brian said, if I need a help, I would ask her. If she needs help, I would obviously be there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in terms of brother-in-law, I think again Brian covered it really well. But I would say that my relationship with my brother-in-law is again chill, and how I would describe him is, I would trust my sister with him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
if I could trust my sister with him, it's like I'm good kind of thing.
You can trust them.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's how I'll just kind of summarize everything.
Yeah. It's interesting because like I also have a brother-in-law, and at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of interesting because it was kind of like meeting. Obviously, it's like you're meeting your sister's boyfriend or whatever, and it's like, okay, like he's kind of like a acquaintance kind of thing, or kind of like a friend, sort of like just some hyung. And then kind of is weird, like once he becomes family, it's like it's weird how that transition is. It's like because it's so natural, but then suddenly you view this person, and obviously not all relationships are the same. Some people have really bad relationships with their in-laws, but it's weird how like if you have a good relationship, it's just like, oh, so now this person is also part of that support circle and that that base circle that you guys are talking about. And it's weird how you can just add on to that. I always thought that was such like a weird transition, but
yeah.
I
was gonna also say my sister, or I would say any sibling, to me personally, I would say they're a friend, but they're not. They're a close friend, but they're not one of my best friends. You know what I mean? Like I would share a lot of things with them, but not in detail.
Sure.
And yeah, I guess it's a very unique relationship, right? So
yeah.
Yep.
have you guys, so for you guys who only had sister or like one sister growing up, do you guys ever want like a different sibling, not a different one, but like another sibling? Like have you guys ever wanted like a brother
Hell yeah.
or maybe like a younger sibling, you know?
I thought about it, but
Like growing up and stuff like that, you know?
I'm not too curious, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I thought about it too. It's like I wish I had an older brother or like a younger sister.
Yeah.
But
But-
like,
Yeah.
you never know, right? Sorry.
But my mom was like slacking, you know. Sorry.
Unconditional love, eh? Sorry.
I'm down. In addition, actually, seeing my sister take care of my parents, I've for my future when I have kids, I want a daughter first. Sorry, because
그거는 네가 원한다고 받는 거 아니야.
no, it's because I see my sister being so caring, and then when I see myself, I'm like, I'm kind of like, you know.
It's okay, bro. As someone who has an older sister, not all sisters are like that. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, you know what I mean.
No, I'm playing.
Yeah.
I love you if you're listening. I want to know if you guys are like 100% transparent with your family. Like, are there things that you don't talk to your parents about? Because a lot of my friends are actually like very transparent. Like, they'll talk to their parents about like sex and relationships,
Really?
and money is one thing that's also I think is kind of not really talked about. But yeah, like stuff like that.
Are they Korean?
Some of them are Korean, yeah.
But do they talk about it in detail, or is it?
Well, it's not
Is it
like,
like- is it
hey,
like,
mom,
oh-
like I did this position with Sheila yesterday. It's not like that, but it's like, it's like, do your parents know you're, sexually active or being safe, stuff
Oh
like
no,
that,
hell no! I would never tell my parents.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell my parents. Yeah, I wouldn't tell my parents, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they know.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I'm sure they know.
I mean, I tell them things like I'm gonna sleep over at a friend's, but that's so sus. I don't think anyone. Can
What do you mean, bro? You sleep over at Brian's place all the time. Sorry.
Oh.
Play Maple Story all night.
Oh, sorry. No, but yeah, you get the bananas.
I'll give you a banana.
Oh, but yeah, I don't think. I think they know, but they just pretend that they don't know. You know?
Yeah.
So, but I don't tell them straight up.
True.
Yeah. No, my parents definitely know because
You're
once,
bringing home freaking non-Korean girls, bro.
like, I remember this one time I was like, my mom was like, she goes, they're both my parents are churchgoers, so they're like, oh, find a beautiful girl from churchy, right? And I'm like, mom, I can't, like, I just, like,
Well, I mean, you can.
like
Yeah, you
I
can,
ain't
bro.
trying to,
Yeah.
I ain't trying to, wait till till I get married for that shit, and I kind of like, I didn't say that, but I kind
Bro,
of,
but let's be honest, bro. Like, not all churchgoers are.
I
Sorry.
know, that's true. No, 100%.
Bro,
But,
most aren't. Sorry.
but anyway, I was giving off that vibe, and then my mom's like, oh yeah, I know, like, yeah, I know you're like that. So I was like, once she said that, I was like, yeah, she knows something's up.
You're like, Mom, I need a girl who can throw it back. What do you mean, churchgoer?
Throw it back like Tatiana. Sorry.
And I'm sure she's seen like the condoms in my rooms and shit. So.
Jesus Christ, you're a freaking animal.
No, it's like I have it in a drawer, but like, you know how Korean moms just go to your room and just like start opening every fucking drawers
Yeah,
to
bro.
like clean up
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm
Bro,
like,
clean up. No drawer is safe.
yeah, bro. And I'm like, why are you touching my shit? I was like, fuck. And then that's how she saw it.
Just put a dildo.
It's so embarrassing, bro.
Just put a dildo on your drawer on purpose.
Vibrator. She like starts buzzing it. She's like, what is this?
And now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, I'm the same. Like, I talk to them about probably basically everything except for the stuff that Christian parents don't want to hear.
Yeah. Honestly, I think most Korean parents
Yeah.
are conservative, so like I don't think they would want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I
True.
mean?
Yeah.
But like I think it was only even recently that I started like I was more transparent about like me drinking. Before then I kept it a secret too because my parents are, I mentioned this before, but my parents are fairly religious.
Mm-hmm.
And so even drinking, I knew that they would kind of like look down upon it and they would like give me shit for it. So all throughout uni, I didn't tell them I drank and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And then it was only recently that now I'm like, I'll come home to visit and then I'll bring like a 6 pack of beer and a bottle of wine, and my parents just kind of go, you know.
They don't drink at all.
But then my dad will be, no, they really don't.
Damn.
Yeah, like yeah, it's like I think growing up and stuff in Korea too, like they didn't drink that much.
Damn,
So
in
it's like,
Korea. No, I was joking.
yeah, like they're like they're good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah,
I aspired to
Part-
be that good.
I don't know. I think it's too late for me.
I said,
but
I said aspire.
what about inspire?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with drinking. It's just when you go over, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Ooh, far.
Sounds like something a non-churchgoer would say.
All right, so segue into the extended family, if you will. We covered our parents. We covered our siblings. I think we cover our pets since we all have dogs.
Yes, sir.
So do you want to start us off, Brian? What your relationship?
Sure. A dog?
What's your relationship like with your dog?
No, I mean not even just your relationship with your
Unconditional love.
dirty.
Honestly, though, speaking of unconditional love, your dog, my relationship with my dog is the definition of unconditional
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah. I was gonna say that too.
Humans, we don't deserve dogs, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say, our dogs probably help. Like it created a stronger bond within the family,
Definitely.
like with my
Yeah.
parents and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
So like my dog just like became that source of energy and like
Mhm.
happiness and like that
Mhm.
glue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm like so thankful for my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like so like consistent and loyal all the time with your dog, you know.
Mhm.
Like
They're so
when
pure, you know.
like when you come home, they're
Yeah.
their tails are wagging and they're like they have their like
Mhm.
legs up, like touching you and shit. It's like
Yeah.
it's just since day one, you know, like
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
changes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I mean, I had a dog that's 13 years old now, so we've been together for a long time. But yeah, he's definitely part of the squad.
Yeah.
Your guys is like Momo and Cash. They're your guys' first pet, right? Like that's like the only dog you've ever had, right?
My first dog.
Yeah.
I had a bunny before.
Well, I had a
Fuck
fish too.
that.
I had a hamster, I think.
Yeah. Because
But like someone, yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say someone like a pet, like a legit pet. Like
Yeah.
A pet.
Well, I mean, all pets are pets, but yeah, dogs
A
are
pet that
different.
could have tricks to them, you know. Sorry. Anyways. So Josh, how about you? Sorry.
Yeah, so like my dog right now is I have a kind of like interesting family tree with my dog. So I got my first dog who was a Shih Tzu in like 99 when I moved to Toronto for the first time. And then we had that dog all throughout our lives, and then that dog actually had puppies, and we got my first dog's puppies, and then we gave that dog away, and then that dog had puppies, and that's our current dog right now. So my current dog is my original dog's grandson, like genetically.
Damn.
But yeah, like yeah,
That's not a circle of life. It's a fucking trapezoid of life or some
freaking
next level shit. Alright.
starting of a colony, bro.
Damn.
But yeah, like I completely agree. Like our first dog was definitely like, especially because we had him when we were young, right? So he was really like the source of like joy in the family, especially when you're young, and like taking the dog out to walks and stuff like that as a family. Like those are all memories we had, going to the park with our dog, all those things.
Yeah.
And yeah, like my parents grew up like not really looking at pets as like family, because in Korea, I think during that time, especially because like during their like youth, like when they were young, like times are tough, right? Like Korea was going through some dark shit, so like they didn't have the luxury to like look at pets as family and stuff like that. So even for them, I think our first dog was kind of like the first family kind of dog. And when like I got it, like honestly when when our first dog died, it was like, man, it really felt like we lost a family member, you know, and
Mhm.
like it was really tough. But yeah, honestly, like I'm
Yeah.
so thankful to have a dog right now too. So much.
That's the downfall of having a dog. It's like when that day comes,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like fucking devastating.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And as much as I say that I prepared my heart for it, I don't think like when the day comes, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
No, I gotta like. What happened was my dog got really sick, and he started like getting these tumors and stuff like that, and then we took him to the nurse, and it got to a point where the nurse was like honestly, your dog is, I think
Yeah.
he's like 15, and Shih Tzu, I think for Shih Tzu that's pretty old.
Yeah.
That's
And
yeah, that's good.
the nurse, not the nurse, like the vet was like, yo, you gotta put him down. So we had him for 1 week, and I still remember this. Like we used to always say, like, his name was Minky. We're like, Minky, like, let's go for a walk, and he'd get excited and go to the door and like wag his tail, and then we put a leash on him, right? And then
Yeah.
that last day when we had to take him to the vet, in order
Yeah.
to get him going, my mom was like, Minky, let's go for a walk, and then he went to the front door. But that
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
the last time, you know. Fuck. Man, it's actually like making me choke up a little bit.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I get emotional when I talk about my dog now. too,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Well, 그런 거지 뭐. I mean,
Yeah.
the way I look at it is like, if that day comes, it's like, I see so many stray dogs like on the internet and shit,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just like I'm glad that I was able to give like this dog
Mhm.
like a good life, you know, like a happy life, and
Mhm.
you know, it wasn't just any like stray dog or whatever, you know.
Yeah. That exactly. Like I'm trying to, like you said, give my dog the best life before she goes
Yeah.
that she can have.
But I'm sure once that day comes, it'll be harder said than done.
Yeah,
But-
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm sure all dog owners can relate to that.
Let's end this off with a positive note and say our dogs are very cute
Yeah.
and they'll live forever, and hopefully that day never comes.
Yeah. We'll include them in the Instagram post for this one.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, guys, that was a little bit sentimental, but hopefully you guys related to a little or a lot to what we said.
Yeah, this one was a little bit more serious, but you know, sometimes I think it's good to just kind of go back and reminisce about these things, because you know, sometimes we get caught about with a lot of shit in life, but I think family is one of those things where it's very important, and it's not always going to be there. So
Yeah. We know that not all relationships are amazing and not all families are perfect, but at the end of the day, you know, it's all that we got. And of course, we're just speaking from our personal experiences. And maybe if you haven't, you know, spoken to your family in a while, give them a call, tell them you miss them, and see how they're doing, you know, catch up.
yeah,
And thank you guys for listening to us ramble again, and we'll catch you guys next time.
if you guys enjoyed this episode and have any suggestions on what we should cover next, send us a DM and give us a follow on our Instagram page at The Young and Finch.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and give us a rating and a review at the Apple Podcasts or the Apple Music Store if you enjoy the podcast. And feel free to give our YouTube channel a subscribe. Our first video should be up there now.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see you guys
Peace.
next time.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Peace.
So that happened. Sorry, my dog. I'm just gonna wait until.
Almost
Dirty
like,
moment.
almost like skirt.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cockroach, sorry.
It's like
Alright,
cockroach
ASMR.
ASMR vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, cookie? I'm down. Anyways.